Instagram. Instagram. Come on. Instagram is looking at the. Cool. Whew. All right, here we go. Sorry, it took me a second to get it all ready. Let me go all the way back to the beginning. Roxanne, Newfoundland, checking in first out of the gate, makes this officially an international show. Renee from Lake Elsinore, California, good evening to you. Corey from Connecticut, while exercising, woohoo! Love it. Louise is here. Pamela's here. Good evening. Dina, hello. Patricia, Bloomington, checking in. Good evening to Bloomington. Lori says, so glad I made it tonight. I'm so glad you made it tonight, too. Because if you weren't here, then no one would be here. That's kind of how this works. We all come in and do this together. Ronaldo, sorry, hello. Patty from Baltimore. Jan is here. Christy's here. Kathy from Illinois. Seattle's checking in. Sharon, good evening to you. Pamela's here from the soccer fields of sunny California. Man, that sounds fun. Soccer fields of sunny California. I think we'll end the show right there, and I'll fly to sunny California. And we'll do this show live from the soccer fields in California. Wouldn't that be fun? I think it'd be fun. Diane, good evening to you. Bev says hello, everybody. Dan checking in from Winnipeg. Good evening, sir. Dan, you're a pretty good role model and cheerleader, man. Appreciate all that you did today on Facebook. You're a good dude, so thank you for that. Maria, good evening to you. Alice says hello. Lyndhurst, Illinois. Boiler up, says Ellen. Ironwood, Michigan. Very nice to see you, Carissa. Dee is here. Yeah, you made it. Leah's here. We can start now. So we can officially begin now that Leah's here. You know how this works, right? There are a handful of you, about, I don't know, a couple hundred of you that if you're not here, I'm not going to start. So you have to get here quickly, or else I'm just not going to do the show. But now that Lee is the last one to finally check in, we certainly can get the show done. Alice checking in from Phoenix. Good evening to you. Keith checking in from New York. Just waiting for final confirmation from the new venue. Yeah, I guess we had a venue change. I guess Rockefeller Center has an event all booked out. It wasn't me. So we're going to do something fun in New York City. Not sure Keith has those plans. If you're interested in hanging out in New York City, I only have September 5th free. I'm all booked up, taping and filming on September 6th. So there may be some time. I have a 6 o'clock flight on the 6th, or a late flight on the 6th back. There may be a millisecond of time on the 6th in the evening, but we're going to plan something on the 5th. So if you're in New York City, heading to New York City, near New York City, on September 5th, shoot me an email on air at fatdag.com with the subject New York City. We'll keep you with those details. About 35 of you or so right now have already emailed me, so it's going to be a pretty fun group. Keith has a whole day planned, and don't matter. I kind of told Keith I'm free from about 9 in the morning till about 8 at night. So if somewhere in there fits in, we'll let you know where we're going to be. And if you're in New York City during that window, I'll let you know exactly where. You certainly can text me. I'll tell you where I'm at in case you just want to come in and say hi. I'd love to see you as well. So that's the deal on New York City. So Keith, thanks for the update for sure. Elaine checking in. Good evening to you. Let's see. Jan is here. Just got in from line dancing. And Fat Dag's talking to you on Facebook. That's how it works. Falls Church, Virginia. Jeannie's here. Woohoo! Did you get the package yet? I haven't checked. I haven't checked the tracking number, but I think it should be delivered soon. I don't even know when it was going to be delivered, but I mailed you a package. It's like this big. Yeah, it's like a box. Patty checking in from Chicago over on YouTube. Good evening to you. Kelly says, longtime listener, first time live streamer from Elburn, Illinois. Kelly, good evening to you. Thanks for being here. We ring a bell if it's your first time. Yeah, there's the bell. Carrie sent me that a long time ago. So very cool. Kelly, welcome. Christine says, well, good evening, everyone. Cheryl from Virginia, good evening to you. Jennifer checking in from Washington. All kinds of folks are on Instagram, but Instagram, you guys make it so hard for me because I don't know your real name. So, Mama5 is here. Franny's here. Let's see. Bloomington, Janice is checking in. A lot of folks doing Bloomington tonight. Very cool. Here we go. Dan says, I've been doing the Couch to 5K app. I'm on week 4, day 1. Just finished it actually. As I do this, the longer run seems more and more daunting. Today was a 5-minute run. I find my mind telling my body to keep going. I feel like the little engine that could at times. I tell myself, keep chugging along as it does get easier and easier. That's exactly the right mindset, dude. Good work. Good work. Kathleen says, hello. Pamela's here. Hello. Oklahoma City. Debbie's here. Tyndall, Michael Crow, good to see you again, sir. Patty, good evening to you. Let's see. Lisa says, well, hi. Well, hi, Lisa. Had a great chat with you today, Lisa. You know, I know sometimes we get busy and we don't get a chance to chat, but I enjoyed the 7 minutes and 23 seconds that we ended up chatting back and forth. It was a lot of fun. So we'll have to do that more somehow. I don't know how, but we'll have to. So Barbara is in Atlanta. Good evening to you. Franny's running out of daylight. I'll hear you in the morning. I get it. There's no daylight here for sure. Darby checking in from Michigan. Good evening. Pamela says, come on out to San Francisco or to Florida, California. I will. Kathy checking in from Ontario. Good evening. Good evening to you. Let's see. Scrolling through. Rock Hill, South Carolina. Jeff is here. Good evening. Let's see. Maria saying hello to Lee. Tina is here from North Carolina. Good evening to you. I don't know if you got my email, Tina, but you opened the show tonight. So those of you on Facebook, you'll be able to chat along with Tina and tell her how awesome she is. And you know what? You don't even need to wait for me to share the show. You can already tell Tina how awesome she is. Just how it is. We're all awesome. That's why you're here. So Hildy says, hi from Hildy. Thank you so much for your wise advice the other night. Truly, that's my honor. That's what motivates me. That's what keeps me going. I enjoy that more than anything. And really, I just want you to believe it. That's all I'm looking for. I believe it, so I just want you to believe with me. It's kind of that easy. Carol, checking from Corden, Indiana. Good evening to you. Karen from Long Island, we'll see you in a week. Judy checking from Pennsylvania. Harper says, hello, everyone. Let's see here. Vero Beach, Terry checking in. Good to see you again. It's been a little while, I think, right? Sarah from New Jersey, good evening to you. Kentucky, Donna's here. Salt Lake City, Glenda is here. Glenda's on the show tonight as well, so that should be kind of fun. Stella Christina 2006, hi, finally made it live. Welcome. Corey says, I'm only a couple hours from New York City, but can't get there that day. I get it. I'm only like a lot of hours from New York City, and I can barely get there that day. I understand. Let's see. Scroll. Oops, I keep hitting the wrong button over here. All right, so scrolling through. Renee, thank you. Renee says you look great. So this was kind of fun, right? So we went to Chick-fil-A for dinner, and you know I've been strength training, or I've been strength training at the same gym for off and on for probably 4 years, but consistently for the last 2 years, haven't missed but just a couple of my sessions. And so the gym that I go to, Exercise Incorporated, give them a shout out. I love the facility. I love everything we do there. And tonight at Chick-fil-A, the owner of the gym, he owns, don't quote me, 4 or 5 in the area of these gyms, and they're fantastic. Anyway, he owns all of them. Him and his wife were there. Awesome people. I know them very, very well. And him and I were talking. We're talking about a bunch of different things, and he wants to maybe start a podcast, and I want to start doing stuff that he's doing. So, there may be an opportunity to merge, but there really isn't, because we're doing 2 separate things. But anyway, long story short, I was talking about his gym, and I said, yeah, I loved it. And then I said something to the effect of, yeah, I could probably lose, another 10 pounds or so. And he looked right at me and he goes, dude, no. He goes, dude, you look completely healthy. Stop. And I'm like, okay, validation. A guy that owns 5 gyms tells me not to lose weight. I'm in. I'm doing that. I'm going to follow his advice. Right? Here's a guy who makes money off people trying to lose weight. I'm good. So he doesn't want it. I like it. So that's what goal is. You just like it, You don't have to stress out about it. Margaret checking from Los Angeles. Good evening to you. Shannon from Greenville, South Carolina. Good evening. Jeannie's like, I'm like a kid at Christmas waiting for the package. You'll have to tweet it and post it and all that good stuff whenever you get it. Remind me, and I owe you an information. The hotel. Hey Keith, could you do me a favor? Keith and Jeannie link up. Jeannie, you should stay at the Columbia Club, downtown Indianapolis is the hotel you should stay at. Keith will give you that information if I don't connect with you tonight. You can use my account there to book the room, and I won't give that number out to these 140 people not getting it. Batesville, Indiana, checking in. Sewing Mom 2018. Good evening to you. Yeah, Keith said, pleasure. Now let's get you 10,000 subscribers on YouTube so I can get you access to the studios. Yep. You know, it's funny. I'm not about the numbers. You know that, right? I like to look at them, but I don't care. If I can connect with one person and change one person's life, that's it for me. I don't have the bandwidth to talk one-on-one to 10,000 people. I just don't have it. So this certainly helps, but it's kind of fun to look at the numbers. Facebook this evening was a little just under 10,000. It'd be really cool if Facebook hit 10,000. It'd be really cool if YouTube hit 10,000. For no other reason other than the number's cool. It's kind of funny, right? We'd say don't worry about the number on the scale because it's just data. Well, on the social media side, it's just data as well. So if you're not already, make sure you're on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, like all of them, and then on Twitter, and then share. Make it fun. I'd really appreciate if you would share on Connect. That would be kind of cool as well. I don't have the ability to do that. Long story, but I can't share this on Connect. But if you'd like to, by all means, do it. Let's see. Colette from Long Island, good evening to you. Lee says, today only order your life-size Fat Dag mannequin in place for your home. That would be kind of fun. Alice, first time too. Good evening to you. Jeff is here saying hi to Kathy. Akron, Ohio, another first-time person. Good evening. Kathy saying hi to Jeff. All right, scrolling through. Noblesville, Carolyn's checking in. Daisy from Hackensack, good evening to you. And Tanny says, hello from Michigan. Hello. I love this. So Janine, got it. That's how my wife's pronounced. It's hers is Janine. Janine from Chicago checking in. Very cool. But I love it when people like if you have a name, right? All of you do, and you have a name, if your name is often mispronounced. I assure you, if your name has ever been mispronounced ever, I am going to be the one to do that for you as well. So if you know your name has sometimes becomes mispronounced, and you put the phonetic in there, it makes it way easier, and then I can just kind of get it. I'm silly like that. So very good. Diane, Crazy Diane's here. Good evening to you. All right, we're going to scroll ahead. I want to get the show rolling. I think that's why we're all here. As much fun as it is to hang out, it's also more fun to actually get a show in. So Venetia is here from Ventura, California. Very nice. Let's see, Heather's here. Brenda from Cincy says hello. Steven's cooking turkey burgers. Yuck. Bev is here. Pamela, still light in Colorado Springs. Yep. So I'll bet you're a couple hours behind. That's what's cool about us on the Indianapolis. We're on the far western end of the Eastern time zone. So it's really fun. Like, in the middle of the summer, it's like light to almost 10 o'clock at night, which is so cool. So cool. All right, let's go. I'm going to scroll. If I haven't said hi to you, I apologize. I've got to get into the show. So let me get the show set up. Get your water ready. If you have water, now would be the time to grab it. And I didn't do a sound check earlier, so this could be interesting. So give me a minute to do that, to wrap the sound check up officially. And then we will roll. Bev says she likes turkey burgers. Yeah, I don't, it's okay. I just gotta have a hamburger. I don't know. It's just kind of how it is. But if you like them, then who cares what I think, right? That's kind of the rule. If you like it, doesn't matter what I think. So very cool. All right, let's do this. Mic check, testing 1 2. Test. sound wave looks good. That's always good when it looks good. All right. Cool beans. Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple shows. There's a couple shows where the audio didn't record right, and you find out after I do the whole show that we didn't get audio. So Lee says, I am Fat Dad. You're listening to Wise Advice, my weight loss journey. You know, it's funny. I don't know if you guys remember the show that my daughter was upstairs saying it as we were doing the show, and it just made me laugh. It was pretty funny. Marcia says, do you even believe he hasn't acknowledged me? Marcia, are you new? Is Marcia new? I don't know who Marcia is. Marcia must be, must be new. Marcia, are you, do you live out in New England somewhere? Is that where you're? I don't remember, Marcia. I don't know. Sarah says she went to IKEA and bought the water bottle. Love it. Going back for more. Yeah, this is it. You know. And then I put a sticker on mine. How cool is that, eh? Yep. I just got those today. I kind of like them for now. But I put it on when the bottle was wet, so I will have to fix that. So, all right, let's do this. Naughty audio. Let's see. Scrolling through. Marcia says, first time. Lene says, I'm awake tonight, usually. I fall asleep. Anna says, cool water bottle. Yep, so it's just nothing more than IKEA. $1.99 at IKEA. You can buy it at IKEA.com. No relation, no partnership, no nothing. It's just IKEA's down the street. So I bought it because I wanted it. And I thought it was kind of cool. So let's do this. Cheers, shall we? Grab your water. Cheers. Woo! I forgot to take that one out a little early. So it gives me a little bit of a brain freeze. Woo! Debbie says I bought a sup board because I wanted it. Yeah, Nicole says she has a big. I have a big one too in the refrigerator. So very, very cool. All right, so here we go. Episode 216. Are you ready? Let's do it. Marcia, are you ready? I'm not starting until Marcia says we're ready. Dun, 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 dun. Marcia hasn't said we're ready yet, so waiting for Marcia. Nope, D, it doesn't work. It has to be Marcia. I know, Marcia, if you're not doing it. Oh, Marcia. All right, here we go. Let's do this. She obviously is not paying attention or something. There she goes. Ready. Cool. Episode 216. You can catch the replay on YouTube. You can catch it on Instagram. This may be a long show, so if we time out, I will reboot you. Instagram only gives me an hour to hang out with you. Facebook gives me all night. YouTube, you give me all night as well, so thank you for that. So here we go. Episode 216 coming right up. And deep breath. All right, here we go. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 216. Always a pleasure to hang out with you. We're hanging out live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Instagram. Appreciate all of your support out there. Do me a favor and just click the like button while you're out there, because Keith out of New York is telling me for some reason I get access to some YouTube studio thingamajiggy if we can get YouTube up to 10,000 followers. Wow. No idea how that works, but that's what he says, so I'm taking the advice and running with it from there. But always appreciate you sharing, commenting, liking, all social media channels, wherever you are. I appreciate the plug. It helps other people find this, and if you're watching and you've been listening, this has been a tool that you've been able to bring into your journey. Many of you said it's a game changer, so think of the folks who may need that, and I'd appreciate you just sharing it out there so that those people can find it as well. So we're going to open the show tonight with Tina's email. And Tina says, "Dear Mike, I thought a lot about writing this letter. I've been so inspired by so many that I've already written, and your responses have more often than not hit the nail on the head for me. But I know you will find some way to encourage me, and this will help someone out there, and so I feel that it's necessary. My dad is a huge part of my journey. He was adopted as a baby and had always had some hidden dislike of his biological family. He felt that they had abandoned him, and while it seemed that way after his passing in 2015, I learned that his biological mother begged his adopted mother to take him because she simply couldn't afford another child. He was taken in with love, and while he didn't always get along with his mother, he was very close with his dad. When he graduated from high school during the Vietnam War, he knew he would be drafted, so he enlisted in the Air Force. He always said he chose the Air Force because he could have his own room. He was very proud of his service and was very active in the American Legion throughout his life. In any case, when he was around 40, I remember him losing a great deal of weight. We lived in South Florida at the time, and he would ride his bike for miles and miles for exercise. He loved that time alone. My parents never fought, but my dad wasn't happy. And one December evening, while out looking at Christmas lights with a group of friends, he told me that he was planning to ask my mother for a divorce. I was there when he told her, somewhere around age 11, far too young to be part of these discussions, but we cannot take those things back. After my parents' divorce, he became involved with a woman that would become his wife. The two of them had a very active life until he was accused of some serious crimes against my now stepsister. His wife stood by him through those troubles, but their lives were very different after that. They both lost their teaching careers, and my dad never really found a job that made him happy after that. He put the weight back on, and he drank a lot. His depression was quite severe. When he passed in May of 2015 at just barely 70 years old, I think he was just tired. Tired of living in an almost 400-pound body, tired of hurting, tired of fighting to keep his head above water. I imagine him riding his bicycle all over heaven, telling everyone what to do. He just had a way about him. During the 9 months my dad was awaiting trial, I was a junior in high school, a very important time in the development of a young woman. I knew that he was accused of some very nasty things, and although I knew he couldn't have done them, I began to wonder somewhere in the deep recesses of my mind if he could have done it to me. As my dad found solace in food from there forward, so did I. I think I've eaten those feelings for years. I am hoping now, by acknowledging them, maybe I can move on and have a more normal life. I told him that I forgive him for what happened, even though I know that it didn't happen to me. It's time for me to let that go. I have struggled with my weight throughout my adult life. For me, it isn't about sweets. It isn't about closet eating. I just love to eat. I love it. I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm angry. I eat when I'm depressed. I eat. Well, I think you get the point. I know how to eat correctly. I've certainly learned how in all these years on and off Weight Watchers. So why am I still fighting this fight? I know I am better than this. And that is where you stepped in. And you believed in me. No one ever said that before. And you said, just stop eating points when I'm out of points. Wow, easy. A leader once told me when points first came out, you eat your point and then you go to bed. Some days you'll go to bed at 10 a.m. Well, that's not really possible, is it? Thank goodness the plan evolves and that there are still 0-point foods to eat after 10 a.m. I can feel that this time is different. After just a week back, I told my friend that I will make goal, even if it takes me 10 years. Like everyone, my weight has increased every time I have come back to Weight Watchers. It's time for me to change that pattern. My body has forcefully told me that I can't carry this weight anymore. Plantar fasciitis, backaches, and so many other pains that just won't seem to go away. My why is strong. I cannot live like this anymore. I cannot treat my body this way and expect it to take care of me. I only get one body, so I better treat it like I appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll find myself stuck in a chair approaching 400 pounds, just like my dad. I deserve better than that. My 11-year-old daughter deserves better than that from her mother. As of today, I am down 27 pounds, and I have passed my 10% lost. I'm 10 weeks into my lifetime journey. I know I need to keep this momentum for a long time, as I have a long way to go before I'm in a healthy weight range. I'm not quitting this time. And once I make goal, my behind will still be in those green chairs every week, or standing in front of them as a leader. My determination is stronger than ever. Tina. Tina also goes on to say, P.S. I also want to thank you so much for how you've changed this journey for so many. I hear you say that your podcast is just a tool in the toolbox. And while I agree with that, know that you are changing your listeners' lives. And of course, thank you for your service in the Air Force. Our country is stronger because of people that step up to serve as you have done. So, Tina, thank you for that. And let's open with the obvious. You rock, as Marcia says on Facebook. But my heart breaks for all that you've gone through and the passing of your dad, someone that you love so dearly, how that completely shapes our journey. We all understand how that does that. And so I want to open the show and acknowledge that, thank him for his service to our country as well. And so here's where I want to begin with your email. You asked the question early on, so why am I still fighting this fight? You know that you're better than this, and I agree with that. I believe very firmly that the more we label this as a fight, the more we label this as a struggle, the more we say, this is so hard, this is so difficult, we give ourselves permission to continue fighting, to continue struggling. I want you to do exactly like you did with your dad. You told him that you forgive him for what happened. You need to now move on and let it go. Giving forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts that you can give, and you've given that. It doesn't mean we forget. It doesn't mean everything is great, but it simply means I forgive you. And so as you continue to fight this fight, as you say in your own words, I want you to forgive yourself for fighting. I want you to forgive yourself and move on, because you are better than this. You can get through it. If you've made it through all this stuff, you can get through anything at this point. You know, what you had to endure from such an early on age, at age 11, is something that we don't wish upon anyone. And so certainly you've been able to survive beyond that. That's the strength you need to draw on at this point. That's the strength you need to say, I'm no longer going to call this a fight. I'm going to call this my new life, and I'm going to go win and attack it. Certainly the WhysAdvice term comes in when you're at a point, stop eating points. The other rule that reminded me in your email is the rule I say is the rule of thirds. Really just take your daily number, divide it by 3. An extreme worst case scenario, if you don't want to rely on the 0-point foods well into the evening, then just have a normal meal. A third of your points is about a normal. Have that, enjoy it, track it, move on. Don't stress about it. Last thing I want to point out is, you can feel that it's different this time. I think that's awesome when you recognize it. You told a friend that you will make goal. Awesome. Even if it takes me 10 years. I don't want you to put a time limit on this. I don't want you to put a time limit on either end of the journey. And so what I mean by that is, so often people say, I want to lose so many pounds by September 1st. I want to lose so many pounds before Christmas. And so what happens is, as you go through that process, as you get close to that timeline, my case specifically, I wanted to be down under 200 back in the day. I wanted to be under 200 before a date in July. When I got down there, I was down, I forget the math now, it's been so long, but I was close to 68 pounds down, and I missed that goal by just a smidge, like 0.2 or something like that. And I remember being disappointed that I missed the goal that I had set, but I couldn't understand that I was actually happy for being down 60, 70 pounds at that point. So that's where I want you to do. And so on the front end, I don't want you to give yourself a timeline, but on the same reasoning, I don't want you to allow yourself 10 years to do this. I want you to say, I've changed my life. That's it. You don't have to put a timeline on either. If you have completely changed your life, there is no time limit to compare. By giving yourself permission to take 10 years, you will probably use all 10 years. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to make the decision today that you're done fighting, that you're going to win, that you have changed your life, and you are being healthy, and you can do this. You've proven it. You're down 27 pounds. You're down 10%. You know, I'd say if you've lost 10% of your starting weight, you can hit goal. There is no magic pills. There's no magic potion. If you have tracked, you have done everything, there's a good chance to get to your 10%. You weren't perfect. There were days where you slipped up. There were days where what you were doing didn't align with your goal, and you're okay with that. But you didn't quit. You persevered, and you lost 10% of your starting weight. That is a significant milestone in your journey, because at that point, all you need to do is trust the tools that you've already proven to yourself that you know how to use, continue to use them, and then it's 11%, and then it's 12%, and then you keep on going no matter what's going on. Last but not least, just as you had to endure all what's going on in your life, and your 11-year-old daughter now deserves better from her mother, I don't believe that's entirely true. I think you're probably an awesome mom, and I think you're being too hard on yourself. But I do understand what you're saying is that you, our children are always watching. For those parents that are out there listening, no matter what's going on, our children do watch and take cues from everything we do. That's why I want you to give up the fight. That's why I want you to give up the struggle. It's why I want you to quit saying this is hard. I want you to just do it. Because the more you say, I'm fighting this, I'm challenging this, the more they watch that. And then you give that gift, that's not the right word, but you give that curse to them. And so they learn that losing weight is a lifelong struggle. Losing weight is a lifelong challenge. It doesn't have to be that way. So I would caution you on giving that gift away. We're going to call this the, do not, pass that down from generation to generation. Quit fighting. Go change your life just as you've done, and continue to be awesome. Tina, thank you for this email. It's that kind of strength day in and day out that people are now learning how strong they really are. And so when we start this journey, many of us don't believe this is possible. We don't believe we're strong. We don't believe we're fighters. And then when we start looking back, we go, actually I am a fighter. Actually, I am strong. Let me take that same strength and apply it here and completely change my life. So Tina, thank you again. Glenda, joining us on Facebook, Glenda writes in, says, hi, Fat Dag. I am a lifetime member returning to goal. I was going to wait until I reach goal, but I feel now is the time to share my journey. I've always had weight issues since I was around 10 years old. I got my weight under control in junior high school, throughout high school. I married at 18, and through 3 pregnancies, I gained 100 pounds. I hated how I looked, and I decided I needed to do something about it. I joined Weight Watchers in 1985, and I lost 100 pounds in that year. I reached goal, and I decided I knew what to do, and I proceeded to gain all the way back over a few years. I joined and quit many times until 1999, when I decided to try it again. I took a year to again lose 100 pounds, and this time I told myself I would not gain it back. I decided to join Weight Watchers' team as a receptionist. I loved my job. I had to weigh in every month to stay at goal to keep my job. I was able to stay at goal for 7 years until menopause started. I began gaining weight, and I was not able to keep it under control. I gained 25 pounds back, and I was very embarrassed, so once again I quit. At this time, my husband and I moved from California to Utah. I did not go back to Weight Watchers for a year, and of course, more damage was done. I was then 50 pounds over goal. I did not believe I could get back to goal. In 2011, my husband had congestive heart failure, and I had to rush him to the VA hospital. He ended up having a triple bypass, but his health went downhill. He started losing the use of his legs, his thyroid cancer came back, And of course, depression set in. I became his caregiver, making sure he got to his appointments, the correct meds, and making sure he ate healthy. This became my why this time. I needed to be in good health for myself to tackle all of these problems. In 2017, that I did not do well with weight loss, but I told myself I would not quit. I found the WhysAdvice podcast in 2017 of October, and that became the game changer in my weight loss. I needed extra encouragement, and I found that in the podcast. Thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe. Glenda. Glenda, another amazing story of strength and perseverance, and thank you for writing in and sharing your journey. I think it's how you open your email is what so many people are thinking. Is I encourage you often, grab a pen, write down your why, get it out of your brain, put it on paper, bring the tears, shed some tears over the stuff, because it is hard work what we're doing. And so many people say, you know what, when I get to go, I'll write it in, because at that point I'll document the entire thing and I'll send it to you. But what has to happen is you document it in the middle is what is the cool part of this. I love everything about your email. You lost 100 pounds 2 separate times. That is an amazing person right there. There's no question about it. And what I want you to know and what I want you to feel is that there is absolutely no reason, no need to have this embarrassment. I understand where you think it comes from. I get that. But what I can tell you is we're in a room, we're in a group of people who understand every single bit of that. If the notion, the idea, the thought of being embarrassed to go back to a meeting, to be embarrassed to go to the group that helped you and say, I need more help. When you get to that point in your journey, then what I need you to understand is you're going to a group who loves you. You're coming to a community who understands. So many times we see people, come and go, and generally what happens is they believe 1 or 2 meetings they can kind of do it on their own and then come back later and no one will ever know. And generally speaking, what happens is when you quit going, you lose that support network. And when you lose that support network, it becomes very difficult to stay engaged. It becomes very difficult to continue the belief. So I don't want you to, any of you, I don't want you to fret. I don't want you to fear a weigh-in. I don't want you to fear I need to get back. Just go do it. I promise you, the group that you're going back to will love you. I've seen it so many times. And so that is where you need to be. And so as we go through this process, you are an incredible inspiration because you've gone through this process more than once. You have concrete, hardcore proof and evidence that the program works. You told yourself you wouldn't quit, and that's really what it takes. And so you have to find ways to continue to change your journey, continue to modify your journey. I said it, a couple times, even in my own journey, it's like, don't do anything to lose the weight that you're not willing to do for life. Well, the only time now that I'm, a little bit down the road from there, I disagree with myself in such a way where I now are finding new things that I never could do before, that were never on my radar. And so I'm learning to adjust them because I'm always trying to find something to keep it interesting and keep myself going. And so that's what it takes. And so as things become stale, add new activity, add new foods, do whatever it is that you need to do to get to do this thing. But what I can tell you is your meeting room needs you more than you need them at this point, or you need each other equally. Because when you walk back in that room and people see your entire journey and you open up and you tell them, you're going to save someone else from going through everything that you've gone through. And you're going to then now start recognizing the pitfalls that may have tripped you up before. You're going to share those with other people and they're going to say, okay, how can we work this together? And that is how we completely change it. So when you said that you maybe at one point you did not believe you could get back to goal, I find that, I disagree with you because you've proven twice you can do it. And so if you're in that mindset, I ask the question often I ask you always, do you believe you can do this? And if you don't give me an immediate yes, that's okay. But an immediate yes is confident. A pause or a hesitation is, do you believe you can do it? Yeah, I'm not sure. So here's what I want you to do. I want to give you a little tip on that. If you're at that point where you don't believe you can get to goal. If you don't believe you can get there, here is how you turn yourself into a believer. First and foremost, you understand that I believe in you. So it doesn't matter if you believe in yourself or not. I believe in you 100%. There are other people in our community who believe in you. Your leader believes in you. Your meeting room believes in you. So if you don't believe in yourself, that's fine. So what I want you to do is I want you to back off from the end goal. If the end goal is to lose 100 pounds and you don't believe you can get there, ask yourself if you believe you can lose 1 pound. Well, sure, you can believe you can lose 1 pound, right? So if you believe you can lose 1 pound, then great. If you don't believe you can lose 1 pound, do you believe you can track for a day? Okay, if you believe you can track for a day, then ask yourself if you believe you can track for 2 days. Ask yourself if you believe you can lose 2 pounds. And continue to walk up that ladder to build that confidence. And so if you're confident that you can lose 2 pounds, then just do that 50 times. Just keep, you can do it, then just keep doing that. So what I want you to do is rather than taking the big goal at once, take the little goals, the pieces that you actually do believe that are possible, that you can answer categorically, yes, I know I can do this. Do you believe you can lose 1 pound? Yes. Okay, great. Do that 100 times. It's that simple. And build up that strength muscle of believing in yourself. That is how you continue to do this. In the meantime, I will always believe in you. Always, always, always believe this is possible for every single person who dares tries, for every single person who has the courage to document their life, for every single person who says, I want to do this. I believe you can do it. So Glenda, thanks for the amazing email, and keep up the amazing focus. You got this. Get back into your meeting room, get back into the folks in the support room that you know works, and get it done. Heather out of Pennsylvania says, Dear Mike, I started this letter in May. It has taken forever, but I am finally in Wonderland to stay. I figured it was time to put fingers to keyboard and write down my why. A little about me first. I've always been overweight. I cannot remember a time in childhood when I was not conscientious of my weight. I always figured I just didn't have the self-control needed to manage my own weight, and sometime in the future, I would deal with it or be fat. I was in a Western medicine mindset at its best. Fix me, please. After 2 close pregnancies, my weight was now obese, and my eating was out of control. In those first few months, well, really until both girls were about 6 months old, I would eat a whole batch of lactation cookies, the oatmeal cookies with some flax thrown in hopes that it was I don't know how to pronounce the word, Galactagogue, Galactagogue. Anyway, whatever that word is, in hopes that it was that. I ate it like I did when I was pregnant because I was nursing. The extra 1,000 calories a day versus the 300 extra I really needed. Well, now my max weight was probably somewhere north of 240 pounds, and I lost no weight after birthing a baby and exclusively breastfeeding her. Thus entered Weight Watchers, my 31st birthday present to myself. I needed tools to help me learn portion control and self-confidence in my ability to control my eating. My 1-year anniversary is coming up in September, and I am down about 40 pounds. My whys fluctuate as my journey progresses, but currently they are, I want to feel like myself again in my body, not tired and sad. I want to run again. I want to be a good role model for my 2 young girls, both in my diet choices and in my example of being an active, healthy person. Hello, growing foods and exercise. For I can't outrun my fork. This is what I've learned in the past 4 months while I hovered right around 200 pounds. I want to live up to my expectation of what someone who prescribes exercise for a living should be doing. Living the life as a do as I do, not do as I say, or not as I do. I'm a physical therapist for children, and I am always encouraging families to get up and work out for 60 minutes of activity every day, and I was hardly getting that in a week. My progress? Well, I started adding an activity a few days a week and even talked with my boss, who was completely okay with me using my lunch break to get it done. Something 40 pounds ago I would have just shrugged off as, I have too much work to do. I am working on putting me first to fill my self-care bucket. Also, since I started this letter in May, I've completed a 5K and started working towards a 10K. I ran the international tour run in Philadelphia, Nottingham, It was a great time, and I would say I am back to being a runner. I wish you great focus, Heather. Heather, awesome job. Awesome to see you out in Philadelphia / Nottingham. What a grueling course that was, wasn't it? My apologies for picking a 5K over the river and through the woods, and we didn't make it over to Grandma's house. But what a fun day, all of you out there. It was just so cool to just to do something that maybe we hadn't done before in a group of folks. And so thank you certainly for coming out that. Congrats on your 40 pounds down. How awesome does that feel? You're really getting this done, and it's awesome. You're in Wonderland. You're here to stay. Way to go, Alice. That's the term we use when the first number on the scale says 1. We call you Alice, and we say, "Welcome to Wonderland. Thanks for being awesome. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for getting it done." I want to address the piece you opened up your email with that said, "I always figured I just didn't have the self-control needed to manage my own weight." Now, when I talk about this, I believe focus comes in a big play. I think we have to focus on our goals. Don't confuse that with self-control. This has nothing to do with self-control. If you believe in that term that your inability or ability to have self-control is the solution for that, it's not entirely true. And so I'm certainly I'm not a doc. I haven't done a whole lot of research on this, but I believe there's a distinct difference between focusing on what your goals are and having the self-control. And so I don't want you to give yourself that negative connotation that there's something that's wrong with you that makes it so you can't do this. I want you to use that to find the strength to say, okay, I need to focus harder. It's slightly different, and it's just how I word it to make it feel like that you're actually taking the right steps towards changing your life, and you can get it done. But the Western Medicine Society of Just Fix Me Please, certainly that plays a role in every single one of our journeys. Checking in with your doc regularly is very important. But this is work that we have to do. We do this together. We do this by celebrating together. We do this by sharing together. We do this by writing down a list of amazing whys. And 1 year into it, 40 pounds down. Please, absolutely incredible work. You've done amazing work. You don't do that on accident. You absolutely don't do that on accident. So congratulations on that. A couple key points in your whys I want to address. You say you want to be a good role model for your 2 young girls. They're watching every single step of the way. I just talked about that on the previous email. And so, yeah, be an amazing role model. And then I want to address your expectation of telling families to get exercise when you yourself aren't. Boy, that plays in your head. It's the same scenario that I had as as a military recruiter. I would tell someone who was, just slightly overweight that they were too overweight to join the military, and then I myself was at that point 70 pounds overweight or more, and so yeah, it messes with the brain. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to separate the two. Your role as a professional, what you need to let them, what you need to let them do. Take that advice, work it into your day. I'm truly glad to see that your boss is okay with you using your lunch break. What a double win that is. I promise you, when I become president of the United States, never, but when I do that, my first rule will be every single employer has to give us time to take care of our health. They have to pay us for it. Why can't we do that? And so take that time, take that opportunity to get yourself healthy, spend whatever it takes, because a healthy, happy, fit employee certainly has the ability to work longer and better and stay more focused on every single task. So for those of you out there who may have a similar scenario, ask your boss. You just never know. Ask your boss if there's time you can focus on you and your health and see where it goes. So anyway, Heather, keep up the great work. Thanks again for joining us in Philadelphia. I think the plan will be, we're going to get to New York soon, but I think the plan is to maybe add Philadelphia in 2019. It was a fun, easy drive out there for me, so why not do that every year, right? So again, Heather, thank you so much for your email and for your amazing inspiration. Congrats on your 40 pounds. I love that 40 pounds ago you said you would just shrugged it off as I have too much work to do, and here you are putting you first, filling the self-care bucket, and getting it done. Congrats on the 5K. Congrats on working towards a 10K. You are inspiring as a rock star. Great focus to you as well. Sherry writes in, says, hello, Fat Dag. My name is Sherry. I have a lot to celebrate. Over the past year, I've lost 68 pounds and over 40 inches. And today, I finally made it to Wonderland. Yay! It's the first time in over 20 years that my weight starts with a 1, and I am more than a little excited. I was able to stop taking the blood pressure medicines I have been on for 15 years. My story is similar to many others. I've been overweight my whole life. I was the youngest of 4 girls and the only one with a weight problem. In grade school, my mom had to make my clothes because they couldn't find any that would fit me. The first time I joined Weight Watchers was in 5th grade. I can't even count the number of times I've tried and failed at dieting. I had pretty much given up, and I decided this was my lot in life. Then I had a humiliating experience when I went to an amusement park and I was told I couldn't get on my favorite ride. I was so upset with myself. How did I let myself get so fat? Why was I addicted to food? I was thinking about having weight loss surgery. I decided to try one more time on my own. When I joined Weight Watchers Online in June of 2017, my goal was to lose just enough to be able to ride whatever I wanted at the amusement parks. Well, then I found this podcast and it changed my life completely. I took the time to figure out my real why. Every time I listened, a new light bulb went off. I realized if I wanted to change my life, I had to change my life. And whatever I do to lose weight, I have to keep doing to keep it off. I started making small changes I could live with forever. I made attendance goals at the gym. Along the way, something amazing happened. I started believing in myself. I am proud of what I have accomplished, and I'm looking forward to the day that I make goal. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter if I have a bad day or a bad week even, as long as I don't give up. Thank you, Fat Dag, for believing in me before I believed in myself. You have no idea how much it means to me. Thank you for your service and for everything you do for our Weight Watcher community. Sincerely, Sherry. Sherry, we rename you Alice. That's how this works. Once the scale says 1 as the first number, we rename you to Alice because Alice loves living in Wonderland. Congratulations on your 68-pound weight loss. That's incredible. Think about that for a second. 68 pounds. So think about as you go through this process, had you started on day 1, many of us really have that goal of just being down a few pounds to start feeling better. And then we just keep going and we build up that momentum. And next thing we know, we're down 68 pounds, which is completely life-changing. You did that. No one here did that. We all did it for ourselves. You did that. No one helped you in that regard. No one showed you or told you how to do it. How do I word this? No one did it for you. Let's just go there. You, every single day, figured out what it took to get it done, used your why, you powered yourself through, and you got to Wonderland 68 pounds down. And how awesome is this? It's never too late to completely change your life. For 15 years, you've been on blood pressure medicine, and now it's gone. It's gone because of what you did. You did that. You took yourself off blood pressure medicine. Your doctor just confirmed it. You completely changed your life. Way to go. Talk about your why. I love it. I had a similar experience as well at the amusement park. They're certainly not fun. When we ask ourselves negative questions and when we beat ourselves up, it certainly doesn't aid in the journey. And so the question you ask yourself, how did I let myself get so fat and why was I so addicted to food? I want you to reframe those. I want you to not put the blame on you for being where you're at. I want you to put the responsibility on you for changing your life and accept the fact that you did that. That's where the focus should be, is focus on everything you have done right, and you'll continue to find everything else that's going right in your life. If you want to change your life, you have to change your life. The life that we live that made us overweight will continue to keep us overweight if we don't make some significant changes. I don't know what the changes are for you. They're going to be different for everybody. But the fact is whatever you're currently doing that puts you overweight is not going to get you out of it. That's the time you have to make some changes. The program gives you enough guidelines where you can figure out what those changes are for you. But generally speaking, it's eating better, eating healthier, and moving more. That's kind of the goal. certainly when you're at a point, stop eating points, that is kind of that line too, where you say, okay, I now have some constraints that help me figure out what is right and what is not right for me and my role. But you're doing all that and you're doing it so successfully well. That's how you get down 68 pounds. And being on that fence where you're right at that point where, considering weight loss surgery, I assure you, I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, but I was looking into it as well, because in my case, I just didn't feel like I had any other option. And so, and I've seen obviously so many success stories with it. And so it was something I was considering, and very similar. I said, I want to try this as well first to see if I have the ability to do it. But so many people that it becomes a life-changing decision to go through that, and so there's no shame in that if that's your role. But certainly you owe it to yourself first to say, I want to see if I can just change my life, and if I want to really change it, I want to see if I can do it by just eating healthier and being healthier. So you did it the right way. You started making the small changes that you could live with forever. It's really that simple. Change one thing, change something so simple, build the habit. That attendance goal at the gym so often gets us on the right path to completely changing our life. And that's exactly what you've done. No, it certainly doesn't matter how long it takes for you to get there, because what you've done at this point is you have changed your life. You've changed your thinking, you've changed your mindset, and that is what has made you the success that you are. Keep up the amazing work. Sherry, thank you so much for writing in. Thank you for sharing your amazing story. It's truly an honor to celebrate you hitting Wonderland right now with everyone listening live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So it's truly my honor to do that. And it's so fun to celebrate all of our amazing success. Success doesn't just happen on the scale. Success happens in the mind first. Success happens in the pen first. You put the pen down on paper, you write it out, you share your story, you write in, and you celebrate. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the WhysAdvice podcast link to send in your celebrations. You can also email in your comments at onair@fatdag.com. Send in your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. You know the deal. I want you to email in your celebration because I really want you to be proud of what you're doing. When you take ownership in your journey and you take pride in all the amazing things you're doing right, you show the confidence, the strength, the courage to win. You prove to someone else that it's doable. No matter what's going on, you have proven in your life you can do this. Therefore, that glimmer of hope is passed on and someone else says they believe that it's possible. They don't exactly believe maybe that they can do it yet, but they believe that it actually is possible. We lean on them, we tell them we believe, and that is how we change the world. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goals and go after it. I wish you could focus. So in about 2 seconds, I'm going to turn around and either stream or not, because as I was talking, the headphones kept acting crazy. So I have no idea if any of that was recorded. Let's see. Woo-hoo! There's something there. I'm not sure. I'll know in a little bit. It looks like the wave file the audio files looks like that they're okay. So, whew. Good night, Pamela. So, Ann, welcome back. 216 in the books. So Instagram, you're going to time out in 1:30. I will reboot Instagram. So if you time out right now, just know that I will turn it right back on. So sorry about that. That's Instagram's rule, not mine. Dan, good night to you. Bev says, I used to weigh every day. I don't do that anymore. I do. I weigh every single day except for the days that I don't. Jamie said 215 gave you a hard time opening. I'm not sure what that means. Alice Williams says good night. Everyone's saying good night to Dan. Dan was down 2.6 today. Woohoo! Awesome stuff. Very, 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 very fun. So cool. So yeah, so that is that was 216, right? Episode 216 in the books and done. Helen checking in from Oklahoma. Good evening, Kit. Woo, thank you. Good night. Always good to see you and chat with you. I have your thing the gift that I'm going to send you. I still haven't had a chance to type into it, but I have it. I think I told you this in the email. I have it written out. So look for an email from me. I'll try and get to it tomorrow afternoon. I'll shoot you a nice email. So very fun. It was awesome chatting with you the other day. For those of you unaware, we did an Instagram contest where I said whoever says something, we'll talk. And we talked for a little over an hour, and we just went back and forth and had some great conversations. So it's very, very cool. But 5 seconds, I'm going to reboot Instagram, and then we'll wrap this whole thing up. But that's the deal there. Let's see. Let me just reboot this for them. Start live. All right, cool. Lori said I stopped weighing every day too. It made me worry too much about the number was changing like I thought it should. So I don't know. So I mean, obviously you're following along mine, right? And it goes up and down. My weight swings 8 to 10 pounds or more. I don't care. I'm mindful of it. I don't care about it in that sense. Like, I know why it goes the direction it goes every single time. I don't get on one morning, it's up 7, 8 pounds, and I'm shocked. I don't go, that makes no sense to me. Up to 0.1, 0.2, a pound or so, that's just normal body function mixing around. But when my scale jumps up 6, 8 pounds and jump down 5, 6 pounds, I know what it took to do that. It's just kind of how it works, So yeah, I weigh every day, mostly for the accountability of knowing that I'm checking in. That's kind of, I said that's my way to say good morning to all of you, is that if I do that, it means I've checked in, I'm focused for the day, I'm ready to rock in. That day I have to make decisions on, is my day going to align with my goal or not align with my goal? I said this earlier today. I have a bunch of goals. I don't have one goal in life. I have a lot of goals in life, right? So I have a goal to be fit and healthy. I have a goal to be happily married. I have a goal to have an amazing daughter. I have a goal to have an amazing job. I have a goal to build this podcast community. Let me see. I write my goals in here. I'll see just what else I feel like sharing. I have other goals. And I'm getting to a point here. This is going to be another rant. I have a goal to read 6 books for the rest of the year. I have a goal to go on speaking tour. I have a goal to finish writing my book. So the point of all that is I have more than one goal. So there are days when sometimes I need to put focus towards a different goal than fitness, and I'm okay with that. So there are days when I say the eating part of what I'm going to do today may not align with my eating goal, but the activity that I'm doing as I'm eating aligns with a social goal that I've set, aligns with maybe a different goal that I have. So when you have multiple goals, you can't just say, you can't work on them all equally. At some point, you've got to divide your focus and focus on the goal at hand. So that's why I say, does this align with your goal? Yes or no? And are you okay with that? So there are days that I overeat because it doesn't align with my health and fitness goal, and I'm completely okay with that because it aligns with another thing that I'm working on. It's that simple for me. So my social goal is obviously to be at the point where, my wife and I go out for dinner. I'm not going to go to dinner. We don't get to go out that much, just her and I. And so when we do, I want to go someplace nice. And so that means it's probably going to be, it's probably going to be a glass of wine, maybe 2. Quickly that puts you, and certainly you can plan for all this. I get all that, and I do that as well. But there are times when things just come up spontaneously that align with different goals in my life. And so at that point, I can't be disappointed that I can't work on every single goal. So I'm not going to go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and start doing push-ups because my fitness goal is time to work on it. I'd get kicked out of the place. At that point, I'm working on a different portion of my life. I'm probably there either socially, or maybe I'm building making a business relationship, or whatever the concept is. So that's where I want you to go. When you come into this journey of does this, you're faced with something, an action, a food, an activity. Does this align with my goal? Pick a goal, yes or no. If it does, do it. If it doesn't, ask yourself, am I okay right now with not doing that aligns with this goal? If you're okay with it, then move on, because maybe it aligns with a different goal. Got it? Makes sense? So that's the deal. So you can't focus on everything at once. You have to kind of balance it out, and that's the life that I'm living now. It's an amazing life. It's very, 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 very fortunate. And so, but I have multiple goals. So anyway, whew, rant. Um, yeah. So it's kind of funny. Here's you guys said it's so I mean I'm sharing some personal stuff as far as my goal. I would love to go travel the world, and the 5K series I've done. I love that because it just I'm purposely going to different parts of the country because I want to meet additional people. I would love to have the opportunity to go in it and speak everywhere, and so that's just a personal goal of mine. And for two different fold. One is to help the military members, which I'm already doing, and then two to just help other people change their lives. But or let me back up, to help you realize that you can change your own life. That's probably the right way to say that. But the concept is that clearly I'm going to retire from the military in a year, and so I was joking with someone. I'm like, I have a year or now 11 months to figure this thing out. And so, yeah, I'm going to retire from the military. That income stream is going to dry up. I need to replace that income stream with something. So my goal for the next 11 months is to figure out what that is to continue doing this. Because if I have to go, into a 9 to 5 from here, then this has to probably disappear in that sense because, a new job that I'll be starting new will not love me the way that my current job does. And so I won't have that same flexibility. Long story short, but for the next 11 months, my goal is to figure this community out so that I can do this often and more so. So that's the deal there. Let's see. Ann says I have a goal to go buy Mike's book once he finishes it. Yeah, I know. It's on the list. It is on the list. I actually have 2 of them going, but that's a different story. Let's see. Pam was checking in. Says hi. Sorry I'm late. Yeah, it's okay. You're okay. Ryan says still coming out to San Diego. Yes, November 10th. Ryan, it's funny. I was just talking about you earlier today. Not you specifically, but you conceptually. My neighbor walked by tonight, and we were talking about life insurance. And true story. It's just interesting how you're here tonight. And we said, how can people this day and age not have, a nice term life insurance policy? So it's funny. I was like, yeah, Health IQ. So anyway, Ryan, yes, San Diego, November 10th. I don't know the exact numbers. I'm gonna guess there's gonna be about 100 or so people there. So we need to do something, man. We got to do something. We do, right, guys? If you want Health IQ to sponsor the San Diego race, let Ryan know on Facebook right now. Tag him, beat him up. Ryan, go tell your boss, whatever it takes. Cover the airfare at least, right? I had to get the plug out there. But cool. Let's see, scrolling through. Marcia says, who wouldn't love you? Ryan says, I'm in. Perfect. So good. We agree. Too funny. No, like I said, it was just funny how. So Bev, this is not a life insurance plug. It just when Ryan happens to work. I don't know if you remember earlier episodes when Health IQ was a helped me with a sponsor. They were awesome. And so anyway, so Ryan is the guy that got me my policy. We went through the whole process. I tested it before I told you guys about it. The policy was cheaper. It was better, or not better. It's the same, I guess, the same policy, but it was significantly cheaper than the current policy I had. And so Ryan and I talked ourselves through that. He was telling me, it's so fun. One of the things he told me, which I think was so cool, is now another rant on Ryan, but Health IQ out in San Francisco is where I'm going. Out in San Francisco, their office, he was telling me that they have like this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ryan, but they have like this gym environment inside their office. So like every hour or so, they all get up and do squats against the wall or do sit-ups or do push-ups or some sort of fitness activity. The entire office does it because it's a health insurance company, life insurance company that provides life insurance that they understand that the difference between, when generally people write a life insurance policy, they know that people who run, that people who cycle, that people who are athletes, should be getting better rates because they're fit and healthy. Anyway, so Ryan, free plug, you're welcome. That was not the intent by any stretch, but yeah, so healthiq.com. I don't think /DAG works anymore, but Ryan on Facebook will hook you up. But life insurance, if you should have it, leave it at that. Whew. Now, this episode brought to you by Health IQ. Ryan, was I right at least? I was at least close on most of that. So anyway, but cool. All right, on that note, yeah, so Joanne, now we're gonna talk about life insurance. Ryan, look what you've done. Joanne says, the only life insurance I have is what I get through work. I don't have any dependents, mortgage, or major debt. So yeah, so you're fine. You're fine there. So, but life insurance right now is so cheap. And if you're fit and healthy, it's even cheaper. I'll tell you why. And my first policy was not through Health IQ, but that's the one I switched to. The reason I first got my life insurance policy was because at the time I was traveling a lot. I was traveling every other week. I did that for about 4 years. And in our particular scenario, both my wife and I had a nice life insurance policy because I knew that if something happened to her, I would have to quit my job in order to take care of my daughter. So I needed to replace, not replace her income. I needed to replace my income in the event that something catastrophic happened to her, because I would have to completely change my life to take care of my daughter. So that's how I first got my first life insurance policy. And then when I met Ryan, I switched the policy to Health IQ. They provided the resource to get it underwritten. So anyway, rant. Cool. On that note, let's sign off. Way more than you needed to know about life insurance, but there's now an option if you need it. So cool. Let's do Instagram. Let's cut you out of here first. Thank you for being here. Thanks for always being a part of this. I'll get this show uploaded tonight, episode 215, 216. I don't even know now. 216. Yeah. Anyway, I'll get it up here, but thanks for all the likes, tags, comments, shares. Continue to do that. I appreciate it. Share on every social media platform that you own. I'd love it. And we'll see you shortly. Probably get another show in this week. That's the plan. And then off to New York City next week. So if you're in New York City, let me know, and we'll see you in New York. But Instagram, thank you. Good night. I wish you good focus. YouTube, same thing, 72 minutes, 21 seconds. Man, I can talk a lot. How crazy is that? YouTube, thank you for being here. I hope you catch the replay if you're just now getting here. But always an honor as well to hang out with you live on YouTube. Have a great night. And truly, again, wishing you good focus as well. Good night.